Hello, my fellow Liberians in the diaspora. I'm Alexander B. Cummings, and I'm running for President of the Republic of Liberia. Liberia just turned 170 years old, the oldest republic in Africa. And yet, we're one of the least developed countries on the continent, and indeed one of the least developed countries in the world. And I say to you, my fellow Liberians, after 170 years, we deserve a better Liberia. We need to ask ourselves some fundamental questions. Why are we where we are? Why, after 170 years, most Liberian homes don't have electricity? Most Liberian homes don't have running water. Most Liberians are unemployed. These are things we can change. These are things we should demand of ourselves and of our leaders. These are things I, as your president, will change for all of you. We, as Liberians, cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. We cannot keep electing and selecting the same kinds of leaders with the same kinds of experiences and expect Liberia to change. We have to do many things differently, and that starts with selecting and electing new leaders who know how to create jobs, who know how to grow the economy, who will prioritize the Liberian people first before they prioritize themselves. And this is what I offer you. This is what the Cummings, Solonter, and ANC-led government will commit to you, the Liberian people. The other universal truth that I want to share with you, my fellow Liberians, is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And again, I ask you to look at my record of job creation, of success, of managing large budgets without one penny going missing. All of these things you can look at and compare to the other candidates. And again, you will see that my past performance and past behavior is a good predictor, a good indicator that what I commit to, we will deliver. And I ask you to make that comparison as you go to the polls on October 10th. There are 5 priorities we have, and we call that the what's. And then there are 5 things we call the how we'll do it. And those priorities are as follows. Our first priority is infrastructure. Simply put, it's electricity, it's roads, it's water, and it's internet and cell phone connectivity across Liberia. We have to invest in infrastructure. That is the top priority. That's the basis on which we can and will do everything else. The second priority for us is job creation. There are too many unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable Liberians. The unemployment rate is over 85%. And therefore, job creation is our next priority, creating jobs for the Liberian people. So after job creation, our next priority is agriculture. We are a country, after 170 years, that do not feed ourselves. Last year alone, we imported over 160 million United States dollars in rice import, and total food imports was over $280 million. These are things we can do for ourselves. We should be producing rice to feed ourselves, and my commitment is that by the end of my first term in office, we will be self-sufficient in rice production. And within education, we are focused on vocational training, teachers training, and adult education. But we have to educate our young people because, again, that's how we can help them create jobs. That's how we can train farmers. And so these things are all linked together. And our final priority in terms of the what's is health. Because you can have good infrastructure, You can have a good job, you can feed yourself, you can have great education, but if you don't have your health, it doesn't matter. And so health is our fifth priority, and there we're focused on primary health care and preventive health care. So those are the what's we'll do for our people, for the Liberian people. How are we going to do these things? The first how is we want to engage Liberians differently in the transformation of our country. We call this hearts and minds. How do we get all Liberians to participate in the changes that are required? We're going to use arts and music and culture and reconciliation and religion. All of these things, we will be deliberate in using these things to engage us as a people in this transformation process. And so we're doing some work on how we can make those things happen. The next how is that we're going to find the money. We have to find the resources, the money, to do all of the what's I mentioned earlier. And the way we'll find the money is, first, we'll go after waste in government. You know, we spend a lot of money on things that we don't need, or we pay too much for things that we do need. So, for example, I believe the vehicles we buy for our government officials, we spend too much money on that. We should reduce the number of vehicles, and we should buy less expensive vehicles for our government officials. We need to reduce how much they make so we can pay teachers and civil servants and police officers and the military officers and healthcare workers, people who actually do the work. We need to pay them more money and reduce the gap between those at the top and those who actually do the work. The other way we'll find the money is going after this thing called corruption. You know, corruption has been the bane of our country. Is the primary reason why we are as underdeveloped as we are today. And we will aggressively go after corruption. The first thing we'll do is we will appoint a corruption czar, a minister in charge of corruption in the presidency that will coordinate all of the agencies that are meant to find corrupt officials. Secondly thing we'll do is we'll make sure we are giving the resources, the money, the right people, the right logistics to the anti-corruption agencies, the LACC, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, the General Accounting Office, the Public Procurement and Concessions Commission. We will make sure they got the right resources to go after corrupt officials. After that, when we find people who are corrupt, we will prosecute them, we will put them in jail, and we'll seize their assets. It will not be good enough for you just to resign. So those are the things we will do to really go after corruption. I have committed that I will not take a salary. The salary that is paid the president, I will allocate it towards helping to fight corruption. That's how important I think it is to us. And then the other way we'll find the money is we'll make sure we're getting full value, the full monies we're due from our natural resources. We'll look to exploit other natural resources so we can get the funds required to fund healthcare, to fund infrastructure, to create jobs, etc., etc. So finding the money is the second how. The next how is we want to create a government of inclusion. We want all sections of our country to be represented in the government. We want opposition political parties to be in government. Because we believe that having a government inclusion will help all of us make the right decisions. It will make sure that we're spreading the resources of our country across the entire country. And then the last two hows, one is growing the private sector. We will focus on growing the private sector so Liberians can primarily benefit from that growth. No longer should Liberian business people be spectators to our economy. And we want to actively support Liberianization and encourage and provide credit and other facilities to Liberian businesses so they can participate. And last but not least, we will use technology. We'll leverage technology to help us achieve our goals. So those are the what's and the how's. But let me end by leaving you again with these two universal truths. One is we cannot keep doing the same things, my people, and expect different results. We cannot keep electing the same people with the same experiences and expect Liberia to change. We need to elect and select different people to lead us, to serve us, to help us manage and run our country. And the other universal truth is the best predictor of future performance and future behavior is past performance and past behavior. And on those two counts, I believe I stand head and shoulders above the other candidates aspiring to lead our country. So I ask you on October 10th to vote Alexander Cummings, Jeremiah Solante, and all the legislative candidates of the Alternative National Congress. Together, we will change Liberia for the benefit of all Liberians. We will transform our country. We will give us a new start, a fresh start, so that all of us can benefit from this country we love. I thank you. God bless you. God bless the Republic of Liberia.
My fellow Liberians, on October 10 will be a day of destiny, as we accomplish our solemn duty to cast our votes for the next president of our republic. We must all remember that these elections are a turning point in our beloved country's history. On October 10, we will have a unique opportunity to turn our backs on the old divisive and failed policies of the past that have left the majority of our people in abject poverty and benefited only few. Our campaign offers an inclusive approach that will unite all Liberians, men and women, old and young, around our shared values and our common destiny. We are one, and together we must and will succeed in writing a new chapter in our country's glorious history. For as long as I can remember, I have worked to promote a better Liberia, a more united Liberia that can live up to its God-given status in the Committee of Nations. The Liberia that I dream of is one in which every one of its children, no matter their social status or ethnic background, can have an opportunity to succeed and have a decent shot at a better life. The Liberia that I dream of is one in which there will be no ethnic preference. All that will matter is that we are one, and we are all Liberians. On October 10, a new sun will rise on our country that can shine on all Liberians. If you cast your vote for a real change, we must all vote on October 10 to give our country a chance. I have done my part. Alone I cannot succeed. I need your vote to get the job done, and together we will succeed in chartering a new course for our country. For change, yes, we must. God bless Mama Liberia.
If ever a vice president go to the president and say, move, let me go there, you will know what happened. I think you learned the story about the prodigal son. You do not ask the president, see the wisdom, the need in that, and make the decision. I'm happy that the president is aware. And the president had told me, Joe, I want for you to succeed. If she hadn't told me, I would never have asked her. And I would never have taken this step. But she knows that I'm capable and she has a respect for me. So it is up to the president. She was elected for 6 years. It's not for me to tell her, leave the rest of the time for me. It's for her to see. He who comes into a cold house must have some warmth from inside. If you want to be afraid of opposition, then you shouldn't be anywhere where to. When the Lofa people asked me, they didn't force me, I said I was willing. I didn't know nothing about opposition. They are there. I already knew that. The opposition also know that there's somebody coming who they will have to contend with.
I have the honor to announce the arrival of the Honorable Joseph Newman Walker, Vice President of the Republic of Liberia.
I think these are issues that you deal with when you come to the job, because there are a lot of other dimensions to that. Even the way in which things work, the management skill, the strategy we have, you only handle it when you get there. So I think I have a reasonable idea as to how you can get the Liberians to know that this is our country, that we all can build this country and benefit from it. Rodney, I want to be able to drive from here to Maryland and go spend a weekend. I think it has a lot of things that have to do with working with people that make them do. I was head of LPMC. We didn't have corrupt. I mean, people were earning their salaries. They were doing their work, and they worked well. So when we get to that, the bridge will cross it. I think it will be where all the time that you will inherit everything negative, then you should also inherit all the good things. But I think Liberians should give people a chance on the basis of who they know them to be. The president makes decisions. Decision making is lonely. People can advise you, but you go to bed and you decide what you want to do. You are judged by the decisions you make. So let me be judged by the decisions I will make, and be given a chance to be judged in that way. I think that's the way I see it.
Begin at tunesliberia.com.
Yeah, that's small, yo. And the farm on the t-shirt. Yeah, your brother feature. ARP, more clappy. You already know. You gotta put it down. Oh, you ain't for Mr. You. For me saying the day for Mr. You. I can't get the for Mr. You. Oh, you ain't for Mr. You. Oh, you ain't for Mr. You. The killer you are working for Mr. You. The killer from the movie for Mr. You. Get it, my show. Get it, my show. Get it, my show. Get it, my show. Yeah, yo, yeah, yo, you ain't moga. Yeah, yo, yeah. Yeah, yo, moga.
Before you a pity, I will break my back. For the party, then I come in here myself. For two pity, I will break my back. For the party, then I come in here myself. Wait now, la who break it, la who drop it and rap it. The monkey babu and spoil it, and the papi coming to face it.
Get here and cheer and talk. Opposition, you start causing no general proper fraud. You I say for peace and stability, general equality. We facing reality, we not having time for partiality. If my you ain't been happy, you think I be my boss. The opposition is scary, we jack giving it to them so awesome.
Oh, you ain't for Mr. You.
Give us bread.
Oh, you ain't for Mr. You. For peace and the day for Mr.
Liberia. He coming to it for all to see it. See to the O. For all my fans let go. Your bottom paper, your Liberia topo. For better future and to upgrade Liberia. But I will say it, that all Liberia party.
Yeah, instead of working, you gotta get out working. The teacher and the farmer can get Liberia better future. Take it easy, oh, the country coming get better, oh. Shine your harbor, we not here for nothing, they let you, oh. Yeah, out there, play, it's all you ready, play. Out there, play, yeah, beat there, play.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
Maserado.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
My baby got
For Mr. Euro, for Mr. Euro.
I already know.
I can't get better for Mr. Euro.
Baby, they got it.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
Back home.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
Mr. Euro, the winner.
For Mr. Euro. For Mr. Euro. Get it, man, show me. 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 Nemo kuku wanyu wakake, omo UAP. Nemo kuku wanyu wakake, omo UAP. Papa naka, so opposition be walking. You read that the name, me and I'm scared to talk it. ALP, I'm a trust. ALP, I'm a trust. So you don't know that you will get a key. Yeah, you, yeah. Yeah, you, yeah. Yeah, you, yeah. Yeah, you, yeah.
Moraba, it can get cool. I say Alexander Dobo Mora can get cool. ALP Mora, it can get cool. Opposition, see you are winning, so he heading that soul. Bing, 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 opposition, bing, bing, bing. Come on, get away. Bing, bing, when you wake up, me, bing, bing, bing. I say, bing, 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 oh, you a bing, 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 yeah. Bing, 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 when you wake up, me, bing, 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 oh.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
River says,
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro. For peace and you there for Mr. Euro.
look for
I can't get better for Mr. Euro. Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
Never put it down.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro.
For better future.
For Mr. Euro. For Mr. Euro.
ALP.
Get it, man, show me. Get it, man, show me. Get it, man, show me. Get it, man, show me.
You were there. You were there. You were there. I said you were there. You were there. Your delay, you were there. For me. You were there. I said you were there. So, hey.
Begin at tunesliberia.com.
Yeah, not small, yo. And the farm on the t-shirt. Yeah, you have better feature. ARP, more clappy. What? You already know. You gotta put it down.
Oh, you in for Mr. Euro. For peace and you there for Mr. Euro. I can't get better for Mr. Euro.
Well, you know, one of the best things that has happened to the opposition is to have the vice president as a candidate. So we, at least I, do not have to criticize the government. I leave that with Joe. Joe has to do that himself if he wants to have a shot at being elected. I'll give you an example. The president has conceded that corruption is a vampire in Liberia. So what Joe going to say? You know, what we're going to say when we're talking about corruption? Is he going to say, I have a policy, I have a way of dealing with corruption? Hey, Joe, where you been for the last 12 years? You know, I mean, but that should be interesting. So I don't have to criticize an outgoing government.
Who could stand before Chancellor and say you're wrong when you are wrong?
Well, actually, I did not retire after the 2011 election. What had happened was that right before the elections, I had an interview. And I said, if I did not win, I would not run again. But shortly thereafter, even before the election, I was reminded that this was never about me. It was about Liberia. Regardless of how I felt, I was reminded that I was sitting in the United States, the comfort and security of that great country, when I left to return home in 2003. If I had gotten killed, my wife would have been with other husband, my children were all parents, I'm a father. So it was not about me. I saw, and I still see today, the need for leadership with a commitment to change our country. Leadership with integrity. And I think it's fair to say that I have been tested by the Liberian people, and I believe this time will be different. There's many reasons that we could assign, and anyone can assign reasons for losing. But let me sum it up one thing. I take responsibility for having lost the election and having lost so badly. I think and I believe that I did not effectively communicate with the Liberian people as to the vision that we have for our country, the vision of the 4 hours. Now, as I go along moving forward, I intend every opportunity I get and every opportunity of all the party stalwarts to actually enunciate and explain reconciliation, reform, recovery, and rebuilding. Those 4 pillars of our party, those 4 instruments of our vision will embrace everything that we need for nation building.
Because that is corruption, and that kind of money when you eat it, it'll make the children suffer in life.